Greetings, everybody. So today I'm going to talk about something that I've seen a lot, traveling around in South America. I saw this in Bolivia, I saw it in Colombia, and I didn't pick it up because it didn't look all that interesting to me. It's a little plum, and I don't know what this is. It's probably a different species of plum than what I'm used to in the US, or at least a very particular variety. But I've seen this all over South America, and it's also here in Central America, here in Costa Rica. And I found this for sale at a rest area that my bus stopped at. They were selling big bags of these as like a travel snack. And you know what? I've kind of passed it by, being like, it's just probably gonna taste like a plum. Probably not that interesting. I'll do it again later. Well, I think it's time. So I picked it up, and it's kind of cute looking. It's about the size of a little bit bigger than a cherry. So I wonder if it's going to maybe have a little bit of a cherry sort of flavor. I babbled enough. Let's see what this is like. It's good. It's got a dark red center to it. And they're bite size. They have a very tiny little seed, about the size of a cherry pit, but they are the shape of a plum seed. So they're not round, they're more like a little almond shape. And the flavor of it is good. It tastes like your typical plum, but it's maybe not quite as sweet. Because plums can be like really sweet. They could be like a 9. This is maybe more like a 7. It's got a little bit of a tartness to it. Maybe a 3 out of 10, like not that much. And the flavor of it is like a regular plum, but it tastes a little bit more red, if that makes sense. It's got like a little bit of a cherry, berry sort of taste to it. And it's also pretty strong. So, you know what, they're pretty good. That's better than the typical plums that you get in the US. I'm usually kind of like, I'm not a huge fan of plums, and I think that's because I'm just not a fan of supermarket plums that you get in the US. Okay, so mystery solved. I now know what those little plums are, and you know what? I might actually buy those again. These are native Costa Rican apples being sold next to imported ones. You can tell that they're imported because they've got a sticker. These ones don't. Costa Rica is a very warm place. You wouldn't think that apples would grow here, but there is a lot of mountains in Costa Rica, and if you go high up in elevation, people start growing this. So if you travel along into the mountainous areas, you may see roadside vendors selling apples. If you find apples down in the lower elevations, very often they're imported. And you can tell if something's imported because basically, if you see a sticker on it, that means it's been imported. This one, no sticker. And I didn't take the sticker off. This is authentic. Just from the outside, you can see that this one is different looking than your typical apples because look at it. It's kind of like long. It's like if you took a small apple and you kind of like stretched it out. And I'm not sure what variety you would call this. Like I believe most apples are of the same species, but they are different cultivars. But this is either a wild cultivar that's grown here, grown from a seed, or it's a variety that is popular here. I'm just going to call it a Costa Rican apple. And I don't think there's much more to say about it. Let's go. It's good. It's a nice apple. It isn't like remarkable, like, oh my god, this tastes like a peach. No, it tastes like a good apple. But this is the kind of apple that I like. This is a sort of apple, it's maybe like a Honeycrisp, something like that, in that sort of direction. It's nice and crisp, nice and juicy, and it has a little bit of a bite to it, which I like. I don't like apples that are like soft and mealy and just sweet with no tartness to it. This one has some tartness. The tartness on it is maybe like a 4 out of 10. Like if a 5's an orange, this is not as sour as an orange. It's like a 3 or a 4. And it's pretty sweet. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is a sugar cube and 5 is an apple. This is a 5. It's as sweet as a normal apple. But that little bite to it and that texture, it's nice. So, you know, it's not anything totally crazy, but if these were available in the US, I would buy them. And I think that's about it. I don't think there's much more to say about this. Apples here are kind of different, and if you see them, it's worth picking them up. I would like to give a big shout out to Smarter Every Day, Loftyrex, and JMac. They are mega patrons over on patreon.com. Patreon, I'm sure you've heard about it, but basically it is how I can afford to go on all the adventures that I go on this channel and how I buy all the fruit that I buy. So if you are interested in supporting the channel, check out the link in the description below. Another way to help out is by going to my website. My website has all my videos organized into categories, which is pretty cool, and I also have t-shirts for sale over there. So check it out, and I will see you all next time.